certain kind of morning routine that virtually anybody can use to, even if you're lazy, wake up on the right side of the bed, actually be happy, and really look forward to the day. And this is something that many people call priming, which is putting yourself in a certain mood strategically. And this is a process you can use to basically set your brain up in a certain way so that you can master the day, hint, hint, and approach it in a certain way where you're already fired up and ready to roll. What's up guys, Alex Hine here, author of Master the Day. Now before we jump into this routine for lazy people that are unhappy and depressed and trying to figure out what to do with their life, I want to quickly remind you of my upcoming Kindle book short coming out. It's all about the 12 simple nutritional principles behind massive weight loss success stories. Beginning in about a week, I'm giving away early review copies for free, and I'm looking for people that are willing to leave an honest review on Amazon. You are not obligated, this is not a swap. This is just me requesting if you would be willing to do that and leave an early review, be a book ambassador essentially. So if you're into that, make sure you join, click that button right there. You're going to join the early interest list. That's how I'm going to provide you info with it because it's not going to be public otherwise. So if you want to do that, you want to get the book free also on Kindle, on a digital copy, go join that there, and then I'll notify you when the book launch goes live. All right. Now back to what we're talking about here. So how did I actually get myself to program my own brain to be in a good mood? Well, if you know my story a little bit, you know that I moved to China when I was 23, 24. I booked a one-way ticket because I didn't really like my job that much and I didn't see myself sitting in this desk for the next 40 years. Even though I was a teacher, I really liked it. It was just not 100% aligned with what I wanted to do. So I booked this one-way flight to China, and when I got back, I found myself just in the worst depression of my life because I had no friends, I couldn't find a job for 6 months, moved back in with my parents, no money, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. So not only did I have no motivation, I had no friends to even go out with and de-stress, and I didn't even know what I wanted at all. Like I didn't even know what direction remotely I wanted to go in. And the morning, for whatever reason, the morning, even if I went to bed happy, it was the worst part of my day. Like, no matter what I did, maybe it was subconsciously my brain was thinking about how unhappy I was, but when I woke up, that was the lowest point of every single day for many years. Like, we're not talking a couple months, like, oh yeah, 6 months. We're talking like 3 years. 3 years. And then a couple more years until every day I was in a pretty good mood. Now, after like 6 months of this, it got pretty tiring, and what I ended up doing was I realized that I needed to come up with some kind of morning routine because I couldn't keep doing this to myself and waking up in this absolute crap eating mood. So what I did was I broke my morning routine into 3 parts. Now, Robin Sharma is fond of talking about his 20-20-20 principle, which is a morning routine where you do 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reviewing your goals, and 20 minutes of furthering your knowledge. So books, audiobooks, whatever. Now, my own routine is actually very similar. I kind of came to the same conclusion before I found Robin Sharma, and many other people do things very similar. But for me, the most important first thing was getting my heart rate elevated. The first reason was that it's friggin' hard to get out of bed. If you're unhappy, it's hard to get out of bed. And if you do something that gets your heart rate up, it's easy to stay out of bed. So for me, it was as simple as jumping out of bed, doing a whole bunch of jumping jacks for 3 to 5 minutes, and then doing that consistently. I do the jumping jacks, and then I just walk around for about a minute, and that right there woke me up. Now later that evolved into doing yoga for my back and my neck pain, doing qigong as a method of building vitality and kind of seeing where this practice would lead me. But the fundamental start was just some kind of exercise. Now, I wouldn't do something hard because I found that I just procrastinated, right? If I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do my whole hour-long workout routine, I would never do it. It was just too much, and it required too much energy when already I felt like I had low energy. But after I did that initial phase, then I felt good enough to jump into the next phase. And for me, this was Inspirational Podcasts. So I told you a little bit about the 6-step morning routine that I've done, that many other people do, that are way more successful than me. And I find that the podcast, these inspirational talks, I use 8 tracks because that's just the way I found out about these talks. I put them on a playlist and I eventually ended up downloading them to put on my phone. And what I like them for is the fact that it doesn't matter what kind of internal, mental, psycho-emotional programming I'm going through right now. like I hate the morning, I hate my life, I hate what I'm going to do today. It wasn't about that. It was about the fact that I now have something else to focus my mind on, and something else that may be as simple as one guy saying, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. Just listening to that. Listening to that singular thing was sometimes the only thing I had going for me. Just listening to that and being like, all right, you know what? For the next 5 minutes, I'm just not going to quit. Maybe later I'm going to quit, but for now, all that this thing did, all that this morning ritual did was got me going for another day. And sometimes when life is just in the shithole, when it's in the gutter, all you can ask for is getting motivated to go through another day. Like, I don't know, like, talk to other people who've had way harder lives than me. I'm sure they'll tell you the same thing. They just survive today and then try to survive tomorrow. And I was just trying to emotionally survive today. And these tracks, eventually, I'll show you some of my sample tracks I put below, but the tracks eventually became almost like affirmations. You know, I would listen to certain people and eventually I would hear these things over and over and over, and then they became affirmations. At night, if I was discouraged, I would write in this little book about what's pissing me off, what's frustrating me, and then at the end, I would write certain affirmations to sign off. No matter how bad it gets, I'm gonna win. I would just keep writing down these things I heard from people I didn't even know, and then they became these affirmations, and eventually, these became my own thoughts. No matter how bad it gets, I'm gonna win. Today sucked. I don't want to repeat today. In fact, I don't even know if I want to wake up tomorrow. But no matter how bad it gets, I'm gonna win. No matter how bad it gets, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. No matter how bad it gets, I'm gonna keep going because maybe next year it's gonna be better. And I found that, again, I didn't know these people. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know if they were motivational gurus or not. I didn't know if it was pulled from YouTube talks. I just knew that whatever it was, when it was paired with music, when it was paired with powerful speaking, when it was paired with emotion, it would change my own emotions. And in the morning where my emotional state was like a tired slug, and then I heard this thing that just makes you feel something inside, sometimes, like I said, that was all it took to get me going just one more day. And sometimes that day, one good thing would happen that would help me keep going to the next day. And then tomorrow, maybe tomorrow sucked, and then I would do that affirmation, and then the next day, a little bit of progress would happen. And then that little bit, that 1%, got me going to the next day. And it was just one day after another of not quitting, not quitting, not quitting, not quitting, that would get me going to keep me going. It would get me going and keep me going for one day longer. So after I realized the second part of my morning routine, which was setting up these personal development talks, these inspirational talks, that became number 3, where I would get up, I would exercise, I would get myself woken up, I would feel better, I would have energy and vitality going, there'd be blood in my extremities, I would feel warm, not cold. And then when I was awake, I would listen to these talks. And those talks became affirmations later that I would put on paper like I showed you on my phone there. So just like the fact that I have my phone right here, and like I've showed you before, I've got all my goals written right there. Right there, every single day so I can see them. And what it eventually became was this sheet became this morning sheet of all my goals and all my affirmations. And when I would go through these goals and these affirmations, it became a new way of thinking for me. It became a new way where I would just talk myself out of quitting. I would say, you know what? Yep, today might have sucked. Things might not be working right now, but I will persist until I succeed. I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm a millionaire. I don't believe that, right? The best thing, as Jim Rohn said, if you're broke, is to admit that you're broke. Don't try to convince yourself you're a millionaire because you know it's not true. But you can tell yourself, I will persist until I get there, to whatever the goal is. The third part of my morning became these affirmations. You can feel right now, I'm slowing down so you can feel the tempo change. You can feel right now the way my energy changed as I started talking about these, right? You can feel the difference. Look at the difference in how animated I am, the amount of emotion coming from my voice, the emotion you feel. That's what the affirmations do. And whether or not you believe they're real or you don't doesn't matter. The fact is they arouse emotion and they get you going, they get you started, they keep you going. I just filled the sheet in the morning with all these affirmations. I wrote down all the things discouraging me, all the things that aren't working, and I paired them with positive counter affirmations. I'm not seeing any progress in my life. I am not seeing progress in my life right now, but I will keep going until I do. Nothing is working. Nothing is working right now, but I will try new things until things do work. I would pair every negative thing going on in my brain, write out the opposite, acknowledge that, hey, it's not working, I'm not going to airy-fairy think my way to success, and then I would write down the opposite about how I could improve or how I could keep going. So what I recommend for you, if you want a lazy way to be motivated and happy in the morning, so what I would first do is do something that elevates your heart rate, gets you in a better mood, and then from there, listen to these inspirational talks. You could do that just as easily by downloading the audio on YouTube videos there. You could do it by getting 8 tracks, maybe Spotify has them. Find the tracks that make you feel something. Find the ones that arouse something inside of you and make you feel different. And then from there, turn certain things, whether those exact words or your own affirmations, into things you put on paper. And when you read them in the morning, it's important to not be like, I'm improving every day. It's important to feel as aroused, as turned on, as emotionally activated as I am right now. You're supposed to feel something when you say them. If you don't, they will not arouse any emotion within you. And it's the emotion, it's that fire that you want the affirmations to build. So that would be my suggestion. If you're trying to create a morning routine, if you just feel like crap in the morning and you're lazy and you're not in a good mood, that is how I would start your morning. And you can feel how my energy changed at the start of this video and now at the end. And that is because of this whole emotional arousal process that comes from not only getting your blood flowing, but beginning with these affirmations, beginning with these talks, beginning with these ways of rewriting your own mind. Now, before you go on, I want you to leave a comment right there below. Let me know what is one affirmation you can begin using to start the morning off right. Hey guys, it's Alex. Did you like this video? If so, there are 3 ways you can really stay in touch with me. The first thing is obviously to click the subscribe button right there. Every single day I'm releasing a brand new Tiny Habit video to help you lose weight, feel awesome, and live better. Second thing is you can check out my book Master the Day. Brand new, just came out, it's been topping the Amazon bestseller list, and it's been getting great feedback. It's all about the tiny success habits to help you lose your next 20 or 30 pounds and get to kind of that next level, both in your health, but also in your life. And the third thing is, come visit me over on my website, modernhealthmonk.com. Punch in your email there and I'll give you a free guide on the exact 5 daily habits to help you lose your next 20 or 30 pounds. So go do those 3 things now, and I look forward to catching you in the next video.